Hi friends, my name is Kayla Rayne, and today I am bringing you my monthly recommendations for the month of December, and the theme this month is favorite new to you authors or debut authors. So this month we are focusing on new to you authors in the year of 2016, or debut authors if you want to go down that path, which I personally do, and I'm focusing on the debut authors that I read this year because I did plan on doing a top 10 favorite books of the year later this month for you guys to check out, so you can always look out for other books that weren't debut authors on that list. But I just wanted to let you guys know Monthly Recommendations is a group that I started with my friend Trina over at Between Chapters, and I'll leave links in the down bar below for you guys to check out our Goodreads page and maybe join us if you want to. But without further ado, I'm going to jump right into my recommendations, starting with Da Vinci's Tiger by L.M. Eliot. And L.M. Eliot is a published author, but this is her first YA book, so technically a debut author, and this book is the very first book that I read in 2016, and it just set a good precedence for the rest of the reading year because it was just a really fantastically written book. I really enjoyed it. It is a historical fiction that follows a main character who is Da Vinci's muse, Leonardo da Vinci's muse, and she was his muse in real life, and it just follows her narrative and blends fictional aspects with things that really did happen and historical facts, and just blends those together really beautifully, and I just really enjoyed that. I love historical fictions, especially if they're super detail oriented. I know some people don't like the detail oriented historical fictions, but I live for those details, or else I would just be reading any other book set in any time period. If there aren't details, then I can't get into it. The next book that I have to recommend is quite different, and that is If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This is a YA contemporary that follows a main character who is a trans girl, and she moves from her hometown in, I think it's Georgia, and then moves to a smaller town in Tennessee. And now that I'm thinking back on it, I don't remember if maybe that's reversed, but it doesn't really matter. She moves from one place to another. So she moves in with her dad in a smaller town. She starts off with this new identity. Nobody knows anything about her past, and she tries to keep it that way. And it's just a really lovely story of her just being a normal teenager and getting to fall in love and go to school and make friendships and have a relationship with her father. And there are some twists and turns in this book that aren't all happy moments, but one of my favorite things about this book is it did show a trans girl with happy regular moments in her life, and those are things that happen, and I just love that those aspects were really focused on in this book. And the main character is so fantastic. I love her so much, and she's probably one of my favorite characters of the year so far, just because she is just this really relatable teenage girl. The next book that I have to recommend is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. I think I said her last name right. I think I just my tongue got twisted there. Roshani Chokshi. There we go. This is a retelling of a very popular myth that I personally don't want to say because I feel like it's a major spoiler, but this is a retelling. It's super fantastic. It follows one main character, this cursed princess, and she ends up getting married, and she moves to a new kingdom. She is the queen of this kingdom, and there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of mystery here. There's really fantastic, lush world building, and the fantasy elements in this book are spot on and beautiful. If you are looking for a really lush fantasy retelling, you have to check this book out. It is so amazing, so fantastic. My recommendations aren't going to do it justice because it really is just that beautiful, and you have to read it. It's so good. The next book I have to recommend is The Reader by Traci, Chee, and this is a very complicated debut fantasy, and I do recommend that you only go into this if you enjoy kind of complicated world building with a lot of backstory, a lot of information. That's something that I do enjoy. I can find it a lot to tread through, but it was still done in a way that was enjoyable and really fun to read. This book follows a main character who happens upon a book in a society where books don't exist for regular people, reading isn't a thing, and she happens upon this, and it is a very wanted and dangerous item, and she has to try to figure out why she has it, why people are after her, and what she can do to harness its power. It's really interesting. I think that is a fantastic book for book lovers to read because the entire storyline is plotted around the concept of a book being a powerful magical item, and book lovers know books are powerful magical items. So. And then finally, I would like to recommend Unblemished by Sara Ella. Sara Ella is a fellow booktuber, and this is another book that I feel like if you really enjoy fairy tale retellings, you should definitely check this one out because it really has that feel to it. It's not any direct fairy tale retelling, but it very much reads like The 10th Kingdom or Once Upon a Time, and it just has this mix of different fantastical elements in it, and you get to follow the main character through this alternate universe and see like an alternate version of New York if it was like a fairy tale land. If you like fairy tale retellings, you have to check this one out because it's basically just like a giant love letter to fairy tales. Anyway, that has been it for my monthly recommendations. I will leave links in the down bar below for you guys to check out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.